This is the Fight Nerd. I'm here with Big Dan Mirgaliotta. Dan, thanks for being here. Did I say your name right?
Actually perfect. Very good.
I got it right. So, how many times do people mess that name up on you?
Oh my God, I still mess it up myself.
What's the worst pronunciation you've heard of that name? Because I've heard so many bad ones.
I sound Japanese, Irish, everything but Italian.
Not to harp your name too much, but I was there for Yama Pit Fighting #1. Most of us have remembered the Yama, and Scott Farrell was butchering your name the entire night. Your face went from like kind of, this is kind of funny, to just absolute pain by the end of the night. I mean, how was that for you? Do you remember that night, or have you just repressed it all by now?
Yeah, he was a character, I'll tell you. He's a good guy. I mean, he's a good commentator, but he needs to practice my name a little bit.
He needs to stop swallowing those razor blades also, get his voice a little better.
He's a funny guy. Yeah, he's cool.
All right, so what's your background in martial arts? Do you have a background in any martial arts or professional sports?
Well, I trained since I was 14 years old. I did Shukukai, which is a Japanese-style shoryu. Did Kimbo karate, got my 5th degree in that, and then I trained with Boot Camp Mark and Muay Thai and Barbell, Henzo Gracie. Trained with a lot of guys. You know.
So what made you want to jump from being a fighter over to becoming a referee?
Well, I had a school for 22 years here in Elizabeth, Alabama. That was the name of my school, Alabama. And I was running shows in Jersey, the Bama Fight Nights. It became legal. They shut me down and asked me to come work for them as a referee. I was refereeing my own events at the time anyway, so it was easy to make the switch over.
So what's the strangest moment you've ever had inside the ring?
A fighter biting another opponent on the stomach, not believing the guy saying he got bit, and finding out I was wrong, he actually did get bit. That was probably the worst thing I've ever had happen to me.
That sounds pretty bad. Let's follow up on that. Has there ever been a moment like that where you've just kind of maybe lost control in the ring and had to kind of rush to get things back together?
Not yet, thank God. I mean, I've been doing it for a long time, not the refereeing, but, the training and the fighting, so it kind of comes second nature, thank God. But no injuries, that's the most important part. Hopefully no one ever gets hurt in the ring under me.
Has there ever been a fight where it's been like, you've been watching the fight, you're refereeing it, and you go, holy shit, what just happened? Great knockout or anything like that? Yeah,
Jose Rodriguez got an uppercut, got knocked out, and later on I was to find out that he had broken his jaw. And that bothered me a lot because I had trained Jose for a couple of years. I've seen him fight. And then I did his fight, and when he got knocked out, I jumped in, stopped it, but I was one punch too late, and he had a broken jaw. I was hurting for quite a while.
I see you've worked with a lot of different companies, including Elite XC, UFC, a lot of smaller shows. What's been the favorite show you've refereed?
Well, I mean, your goal is to do the UFC. That was the biggest event. Everybody always wants to do the UFC, and they've been great. Now that I've been doing quite a few shows with them, you get to know a lot of the people involved. It's like a family-run business. I mean, everybody helps each other, from building a ring to taking a ring down to doing security for a fight when you're not refereeing. But here, by far, Lou Neglia. The classiest guy, does the best with his shows, takes care of the fighters. I got a lot of respect for that guy.
Lou Neglia, of course, Ring of Combat. He's been around for quite a long time. How long have you worked for Lou?
Since he's done his second show in Jersey. Yeah.
What year was that?
Oh man, back in 92? 96.
So that's a company that has a lot of history here in the East Coast area. So being a referee, a lot of people don't necessarily like the decisions you make. Has there ever been a decision that you've made that you've kind of regretted in the past?
Well, like I said, the Jose, it wasn't a decision, it was a stoppage, but I felt, after I saw it, I felt I should have gotten in there a little bit quicker. Other than that, basically, I've been pretty happy with my decision so far. No complaints.
Now, that's something more topical. Kimbo Slice is now going to be joining the Ultimate Fighter Season 10. You yourself refereed many of his fights in Elite XC. How do you think Kimbo's going to do on Tough?
Well, Kimbo's a rookie in this. I mean, he's not really a well-rounded mixed martial artist. He's a boxer. He's not even a street brawler, because in street brawling there's no rules. And when he fought, there was rules. You couldn't go to the ground, you couldn't knee, you couldn't. So he's not even a street brawler. He's just an amateur-level boxer trying to make it in MMA. I give him credit for going on the show. I give Dana White credit for giving him a shot at it. He's got to prove himself. He's got a lot of work to do. He's got a lot of training. He's got to get better at the ground game. He's got to get better at the stand-up game. He got knocked out by a kid that was pretty much done with the UFC because of his record, and 14 seconds with a lucky shot. But he's got talent. The guy's an athlete. There's no doubt about it. I always said that about him. I always said he's got a good background. His attributes are going to help him so much with the mixed martial arts. He just needs to get with someone that knows what they're doing, trains him very well, and I think he could do well.
And as of June 3rd, Mixed Martial Arts New York City just got one step closer to being sanctioned. Do you think being sanctioned in New York is going to draw a lot of revenue and traffic away from the New Jersey fights?
Without a doubt. I mean, a lot of the promoters that do shows down in Jersey will no longer do that because they're from New York. They know they're going to get everybody. Madison Square Garden's got Penn Station. You can get there with no problem. Getting down here is a pain in the neck unless you drive. It's hard to get to Atlantic City. So it's going to definitely hurt New Jersey for the venues, but you know, it's not going to hurt the fighters, which is an important thing.
What do you think promoters can do to kind of fight that back?
It's going to be tough. I mean, Madison Square Garden is a big venue. Any fighter, their goal is to fight in Madison Square Garden. Like, that's the place to fight at, you know? So it's going to be tough to get back from New York once it leaves here.
All right, so we are, of course, here in New Jersey right now, here at Cage Combat, the first night. And you do a lot of smaller shows. Are there any fighters you've seen that might be really big up-and-comers soon?
Well, a lot of them have already. I mean, the Miller brothers are in the UFC now. Kurt Pellegrino, Chris Ligori. You got Frankie Edgar, you know. And then there's other venues other shows that have the kid from Fight Factory. Now I'm drawing a blank. I can't believe this.
Me too.
Oh, my God. He fought.
We got Dan off guard.
Oh, you did. You got me good. Oh, my God. I can't think of his name. I'm going to feel real bad about this, too. I'll think about it, though.
All right, no problem. Anyway, Dan, it's nice meeting you. Thank you very much for the interview.
No problem. Good luck.
Okay, we're back. Big Dan just remembered. Who was that guy?
Eddie Alvarez. Sorry.
Eddie Alvarez. All right.
I apologize.
All right. Thank you, Dan.
All right, man.
This video is sponsored by Brawl & Mall Fight Performance Gear, with a selection of the best brands and their own custom apparel and equipment, as well as energy drinks and even music. Check them out at brawlandmall.tv.
Our officials for tonight's fight, the ringside physicians, are Dr. Cheryl Wolkin and Dr. Vincent Guida.